Namaste and hello. Welcome to another episode of The Light Within. In this episode, we are going to talk about spiritual cleansing. Cleansing your consciousness, transforming your awareness to stay connected with the light within, no matter what. Have you been on a flight during monsoons? Visualize this. It's been raining for a few days and you haven't seen sun for a while. You have a flight today. The sky is dark and heavily overcast. You board the flight and as it takes off, you see those clouds moving beneath you. You see leaving them behind as you keep moving above. And there, on the horizon, you see the beautiful rays of sun touching the surface of the earth and bringing life through its energy. A few years back, it used to be a ritual for me to travel to Delhi every other week. And I used to love catching the 6 a.m. flight. I never for a moment cursed getting up early. No matter how sleepy I was on board, I would catch up the glimpse of the sunrise no matter what. It was absolutely magical to see those beautiful rays of sun shining on the horizon. It used to fill me with so much joy and gratitude. How is this related to today's conversation? Think of those clouds as what you have accumulated in your mind. Think of the clouds as your mind and think of the clear skies and the shining sun as the soul energy. In the analogy I gave you, if you were still on the ground, you would have not seen the light. You couldn't access the light unless you elevated yourself. So as the flight took off, you reached a certain height from where you could see the light. It was always there even when you were there on the ground, isn't it? So now draw the parallel. The spiritual or the divine energy is always available for us to connect and to get tuned in. To be able to do that, we have to elevate our consciousness. Plane needs to move across the clouds and leave them behind. Similarly, to connect with the divine consciousness, you need to leave behind the murky clouds of thoughts. You need to clear your mind and align your heart and soul in a way that no matter what, your state of consciousness stays connected with the pure light, pure consciousness, and stays elevated most of the times. I've always used this analogy to remind myself that up there on the horizon, the light is shining. No matter what's happening in the life, I take the time out to remind myself that the purest energy, full of love and compassion, is always available to me and everybody else all the time. The sun is shining on the horizon, always. But in the moments of discouragement, anger, or negativity, I am denying myself access to it. You and I cannot see it, and hence we believe that the clouds that we see will probably remain always, which is not true. Things can change in an instant if we allow them to. I'm not saying that it's wrong to feel negative emotions. I'm only asking you to evaluate how long you stay there. Every emotion has its place in life, and that's what makes our life experience richer and full. But the emotions that don't serve us well, we need to quickly release them and move towards purity because that's the nature of our soul. The sooner we move towards aligning ourselves to the pure consciousness, the sooner we will allow the situation to heal and improve. So how do you do that? Let's understand a few steps which can help you keep your energies purified and aligned to the highest frequency. The first step in this direction is to take the responsibility. Your thoughts are your making, no one else's. Acknowledge that you have allowed yourself to go too far with your imagination. Your connection with the pure consciousness gets affected with the quality of your thoughts. Thinking and feeling are intertwined activities. You cannot think without feeling, and what you feel for long times is what you become eventually. Your energy field is your own making. We need to accept it. So, what happens during the process of thinking? This was explained by Annie Besant and Charles Ledbetter of the Theosophical Society as part of their clairvoyant observations. In their book Thought Forms, which was published in 1905, the authors wrote that each definite thought produces a double effect, a radiating vibration and a floating form. According to the ancient teachings, during your process of thinking and feeling, there are two phenomena which take place. So, the first is that you create a thought form, and a thought form is a real living being or entity which is created by the process of thinking. So, this is the first thing. The second thing that happens is the act of thinking or feeling also produces a psychic radiatory field. This is a scientific study, mind you. The concept of a psychic radiatory field is similar to what a transmitting tower that sends out television signals. So, when you think and feel something strongly, you too radiate an energy field with the quality of that energy. You must have heard in the law of attraction circles about vibrations. They say that you have to vibrate higher, and if you do that, you will get whatever you desire. They are actually asking you to tune yourself to a certain frequency. So, for example, happiness and joy radiating from one person can stimulate similar vibrations in a nearby person, right? However, when you come in contact with someone who's angry, you also tend to be affected and feel a little pulled down. It is therefore your responsibility to think the right thoughts. Thoughts play a very important role in keeping your energy clean and pure. And what we are discussing today is to keep your connection with the divine consciousness. Connection won't happen if you don't keep yourself clean, and cleansing starts from the thoughts that you are thinking. Now, moving on, the second idea for inner purification is to form a ritual. This is my absolute favorite one. I cannot share the importance of building a cleansing ritual for yourself. I've been following it for many years, and I can guarantee you that a single step of building a routine to cleanse yourself holistically can make a huge difference. This is your own sacred space, and you get to choose what you put there. Whatever brings you closer to the divine energy. Clear your mind and then think of what brings peace, what elevates you. So let me share a few ideas here. Saltwater bathing cleanses your aura. You can make this a part of your routine in the morning and in evening. You and I come in contact with many people as we move around to fulfill our responsibilities. Some of us catch the energies fairly easy as compared to others. Hence, it is important that we cleanse the outer layer, which is our energy field, by bathing in salt water. Remember that standalone, this will not be the only action that will help you keep your aura clean. This is one of the methods to drop the negative energy that you might have unconsciously picked from other people. Second one is my personal favorite, lighting a lamp and burning incense. Light symbolizes knowledge and darkness, ignorance. So, what are we doing when we light a lamp? I think a lot of people who do this ritual, I don't know how many of us are consciously aware of what we are doing and what is the true meaning of lighting a lamp. So, as I said, light symbolizes knowledge and darkness, ignorance. Knowledge removes ignorance, just as light removes darkness. Hence, we light the lamp to bow down to knowledge as the greatest of all forms of wealth. The traditional oil lamp has a further spiritual significance. The oil or ghee in the lamp symbolizes our vasanas or the negative tendencies, and the wick represents the ego. By lighting the lamp, one surrenders the ego to the supreme power, to the greatest energy, burning the negative tendencies and connecting with the higher realms. When lit by the spiritual knowledge, the vasanas or the negative tendencies get slowly exhausted and the ego too finally perishes. The flame of the lamp always burns upward. Similarly, we should acquire such knowledge as to take us toward higher realms. Burning incense sticks is also one of my favorite rituals. On the surface level, it works as an anchor to get me connected to the spiritual realm. In our faith, burning incense is very symbolic and has a deep meaning. Although incense sticks burn totally to ashes, their influence is felt via the pleasant smells that last in a place. I don't leave my house without lighting the lamp and burning incense. That's my absolute must do activity because that gives me the energy to stay connected with the divine all day long. Now, moving on to the third idea to cleanse yourself inside out is letting go. So, the first rituals that I shared were more physical in nature, as in those were external rituals. This is an internal ritual, and I think this is the most important ritual that we should be doing to keep our energies clean. And this needs effort. All of this that I'm talking about is hard work. Nothing is going to come easy, but you have to. If you want to access that energy that I'm talking about, you have to follow these ideas. So let us talk about what letting go means. I'm going to talk about a very simpler version of letting go. I'm not talking about forgiveness. I'll do probably a detailed podcast on forgiveness, but this is more simpler aspect of letting go and keeping your energy clean. The stains on your soul actually are not visible, and every time you encourage a negative thought, you put a stain. So a simple example could be that maybe you're entering in a local train or a metro in a queue and someone jumps the line. I'm giving this example because I see it so often. Someone cuts the line and there starts an altercation, and it affects not just the people who started it but also people around, and it becomes a chain. Someone cuts you off on a signal and there you go again. So no matter how many rituals you did in the morning before you left your house, this energy will catch up with you unless you're aware of keeping yourself clean on the inside. I love this analogy shared by Sister Shivani in one of her talks. A beautiful soul. She mentions that, you step out of your house in white clothes. Now it is your responsibility to keep your clothes spotless all day long. If you let it stain, you will take it out on your family and loved ones. So remember this analogy of as if you're in a white costume, and it is your responsibility to keep it clean no matter what is happening, how people are behaving with you, or what the situations are. Letting go is not about allowing people to cross boundaries with you. No. It is about staying stable and from that place dealing with the situation and people. Understand that your reaction in the moment creates a ripple effect, and that ripple creates karma. Now that is a different and an intense subject, but letting go has foremost importance in internal purification process. No amount of mantra chanting, meditation will work out if you don't keep your soul clean. And I think most of us have this knowledge already, yet we keep falling into the traps of reaction and negative cycles. So in this episode, we discussed about purifying yourself and keeping your energies clean to be able to connect with the divine energy. 3 steps that will help you do that. The first step is taking the responsibility for your thoughts, for your thinking. The second idea for inner purification is to form a ritual. And the third idea to keep yourself clean inside out is letting go. So that's all for this episode. I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with you. Together, let's embark on this journey of self-discovery and soulful living. Until next time, may your soul be illuminated with the light within. Take care, and I will see you soon in the next episode. Until then, keep shining the light within.